Listening to you speak, it sounds as though St. Kitts, everything is under control. And
It's working. St. Kitts is working. That's the whole point.
But the point is, too, that the opposition doesn't agree with you. In fact, we're into the season of elections now. And when, depending on which script or which camp you're listening to, you get a very different view of things.
We would expect that the opposition, whose main duty it is to get into political office, will be critical of the government. The opposition, I must say to you, is very inexperienced. The opposition has been a lot of talk and very little action.
Experienced in terms of government, because...
Experience otherwise.
But they held government before you, if you go by in terms of PAM as an organization.
Well, no one there in that organization today was ever in government. And what is needed more than ever at this time in St. Kitts and Nevis by the electorate and by the country are capable hands in serious times. Just think of putting this country today in the hands of a group of guys who have never ever understood what it is to run a government. Just look at what is happening around us globally. What the people are demanding of us here is the continuation of very successful policies which have delivered to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
But the last man that I heard say precisely what you just said is now in opposition in Barbados. Owen Arthur said the same things to me.
Well, you see, Barbados' situation, I think, is slightly different from ours.
And Keith Mitchell said the same thing you just said, too. That Barbados is different to Grenada. He, too, was voted out.
Well, let me put it this way. I believe I have the confidence of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I know that I'm going for a fourth term, and that is most challenging. We have not taken this at all for granted. We've been very much aware of the challenges that we face. But it's not so much us, you know. It's what the people want. And I think that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis really recognize that even though the government has been around for 14 years, it has been a government of delivery.
Pam says it's not working and the people want change. It's time for change. Obama said that too. It's time for change.
Pam has borrowed a slogan from Obama. The opposition in this country has never been able to come up with anything that is new. For the last 2 years, they're talking about change, time for change, and yes, we can, and so forth. The same old jargon that have been borrowed from the American last elections. We simply have mounted a campaign to show to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that things are working here. Look at the unemployment situation. When we closed the sugar industry, we had no less than about 13 to 14% unemployment. Today, we just completed, late last year, we completed an exercise, a poverty assessment exercise. It's down to 6% or so. At serious times. We've looked at our statistics and our records. Look at the young people and how they have been empowered. When you compare what Pam did previously for 15 years, they were in office from 1980 to 1995 when I came in. They had empowered very few young people. I was looking at the statistics from our own development bank with regard to student loans. 171 approved student loans for 15 years. My government, after 13 years, had already approved 1,767 student loans. Under my administration, under my watch, every student who successfully navigates his way through the secondary school system almost automatically now goes on to our own local community college, where you can get your associate degree, or you go on to any of the colleges that are abroad.
But do the statistics tell the real story? Is it life harder today?
No.
All over?
No.
Not just in St. Kitts?
When you look at what we have done in terms of our housing development, our shelter development program, 2,500 homes being given to ordinary poor people, affordable homes. Just think of that. When you think about 4 members in each house, you're talking about really providing an improved quality of life for 10,000 people. The population is only 35,000.
But how long is long enough? I mean, you have 3 terms already. You're going for 4th. Something that you've admitted yourself is a hard ask in terms of even the regional picture for sure, and in terms of a domestic situation. It's challenging to seek a 4th term. How long is long enough?
I think it was one of your former prime ministers who said, how long is too long if it is good?
And you know what happened to him?
But I am very confident that the time of my administration being in office is really not critical. What is critical to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is the delivery of the programs, the improvement in the quality of their lives. Let us look at what we're doing, for example, with our sugar lands. In this country, in the past, these lands were owned by just about 5 families. St. Kitts and Nevis was one big sugar estate. In fact, we have 68 square miles. We had 68 sugar estates here in this country. My government, proud of its record in the past, in the 70s, 75 in particular, nationalized the entire sugar industry. And so the lands were taken in the name of the people. Of course, they were paid. The planters who owned it, they were paid. Mr. Bradshaw, our first national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, he did that act. It is now my time to distribute those lands. He did it in order to consolidate the sugar industry, because the planters in those days he envisaged were using the rundown of the industry as a political tool against him. His whole and this entire orientation politically came from the labor movement, one of the foremost men in trade unions in the Caribbean region.